Okay, you want to come up, Simba? Okay, Big Simba wants to come say hi. All right. Getting started. Happy Thursday, everybody. Bento, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Oh, you wanna come and be in the shot too? Come over here. Bento, come here. Come here. Bento, come here. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't. You're too big for that shit, aren't you? Okay, that's all right. Giving everybody a minute to get in. Oh, Bento, you made it. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh. All right, Simba, I'm putting you down. All right. I'm going to have to shut you out, big guy. You're too much for right now. Have fun out there. All right. We ready to get started? Everybody's had about a minute to join in. Excellent. Good. We got some people here on YouTube. We got some friends on Instagram. Hello, friends. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and get the day started off right. So first of all, I would like to welcome you to Live with Jack. We are live. I'm Jack. What a coincidence. Amazing, isn't it? So this is going to be the very best lesson that you've ever experienced in your life. And in fact, it's going to be the very best part of your day today, of your week this week, possibly even of your entire lifetime, if I can figure out how things can sit. Oh, right. Having to do Instagram through the phone is just such a pain in the ass. I don't know why they won't let me do it through the PC, but whatever. So it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Now, there's something that we're missing, though. There's something we're missing because I'm not feeling quite right. Like, there's something I haven't had yet. You know what it is, right? You know what it is? It's the Cheers with Chaps. So what I would like for you to do is get yourself something to drink. Get yourself a beverage of some kind. Could be anything you like. Might be water, might be whiskey, might be wine, might be something else that starts with a W that I can't think of. A wheat beer? I don't know. That doesn't seem right. But lift your glasses with me now and join in a Cheers with Chaps. Cheers. Go. Oh, fantastic. I absolutely love that. Now, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to jump into today's lesson. And I'm going to be teaching you guys some really useful stuff to help you reframe the way that you act around women, the way that you treat relationships, and the way that you treat dating in general. But in order to do that, we're going to need to talk through some more esoteric stuff. Hey, what's up, Tim? Good to see you here. We're going to need to talk through some more difficult stuff as well, because we're going to be changing the way that you view all of this stuff. And that's, in fact, our first point to teach you how to be the prize and have women chasing you, is we're going to fix your beliefs. Now, there are a few different things that we're going to go through here. The first one, though, the very first one is you and your belief in what is possible for you to do. What is possible for you to do? What is possible for you to change? And this is one of those more difficult ones that honestly I should probably give its own lesson to. But I'm going to try and give you guys a short rundown on this and on what you need to change about how you're thinking of things. So the very first part is we need to determine what is and is not in your control to change. Okay? Dealing with internal and external factors is going to be a very big part of dating. And unfortunately, we all tend to get a lot of our reinforcement, both positive and negative, from external factors. I tried to talk to this girl. Did it work? Did she respond to me? Right? So we're dealing with a lot of external validation in this field. However, as you may already know, external validation is a really, really bad way to deal with problems and to plan things and to try to improve and get better, because there's so much outside of your control. If you go up and you approach a girl and she's just having a bad day, then it might not be your fault. In fact, it probably isn't if she's just having a bad day. And so you have a lot of external circumstances and external issues that you can't control. However, there are things that you can control, being like I talked about last week a little bit, about your appearance, how people view you, about the way that you act, about the things that you do, the things that you say, the way that you talk to people and communicate with people. And those are very much within your control. So sometimes you're going to have to simply accept failure as part of the process for lots of reasons, but also because there's too much external stuff going on that you can't control. And you need to accept that even if you're doing everything right, what's the quote? It's possible to commit no errors and still fail. That's a really old nerdy quote for you friends out there. Tim probably picked up on that one. And that's entirely possible in dating. So you need to accept that, first of all. Understand that there are things that you can change to improve upon yourself and to actually get better at talking to people, at dealing with women, at going through all this stuff. And then the next belief that I want to change in you is that guys think that this is competitive, that you're competing against the women whenever you're trying to meet them, you're trying to date them, you're trying to hook up with them, whatever it is you're trying to do. Guys treat it like a competition, but it's not. It's not. In fact, it's cooperative. And I've talked about this before, but one of the biggest shifts that you can make in your head is understanding that she wants you to succeed. She wants you to be really, really good at talking to her, at taking her on dates, at making her feel special. She wants you to be really, really good at all of these things. She wants you to succeed. Why? Because she also wants to have a good date. She also wants to have a good relationship. She also wants to have good sex. And if you try to treat it like it's a competition, like you're trying to beat her or one up her, or you're trying to pass her tests as if she's trying to do things to make you fail, then you've already missed the mark. She wants you to succeed. Now, I know I've heard some of you guys coming at me with your black pill stuff, and you're like, no. They don't even want you to succeed. They don't care. They're just out to get a free dinner, or to get some free drinks or something like that. Okay, fine. Let's go ahead and quickly address that idea, this false belief that you have in your head that women just want to go out to get free stuff. Okay, part of it. I'm not going to deny that. But imagine for a second that I invited you to go see a movie that you didn't particularly want to see. Like, fine, I guess I don't mind, but I'm going to pay for it, okay? You don't have to pay for anything, right? I'm going to pay for the movie. So let's go together. We'll go see Avatar 2, which I'm sure is going to be a remarkably mediocre experience. Okay. You're willing to come because you weren't that enthused about it, but it's free. So may as well, right? Now, what is a better outcome for you? Is it better for you if you go there and the movie sucks, but hey, it was free? Or is it better for you if you go there and the movie is excellent and you have a great time with your friend and everything is amazing, but also it was free? Which of those situations is better? Obviously the second one, right? So understand that in her head, she's not just there for free stuff. Even if she did decide to go on the date because that was part of the calculus, that's fine. Like, that is part of it. The same way that guys agree to go on dates because the possibility of sex is on the table, right? And so if you took that away, guys wouldn't go on dates. And if you took away the let me get you something, then most girls wouldn't go on dates either. It's fine. It's just built in as part of the calculus. Now you might run into some modern women who, no, I'll pay for myself. Great, awesome. Then you've just saved yourself more than Geico, right? Like, fine, that's cool. But the point is, she still wants you to succeed. She wants you to get good. She wants you watching these live streams, checking out these videos. She wants you getting coaching, improving your skills, practicing your conversation abilities. She wants your flirting to feel natural, to feel good, to feel fun, to not feel forced, to feel like this guy really knows what he's doing. This is a really good time. She wants your success because your success is her success. And that is an important mental shift to make in dating. Now let's move on to number 2, because once you fixed your mental blocks, then we can really start to have fun with this. Number 2, you're going to flip the script on her. You are the prize. I'm sure you guys have all heard this before. You are the prize. Make her chase you. Don't chase after her. Things like that. Okay. How does that work in practice? Right? I get the idea. Okay, do the make her chase you, don't chase her. Okay, but how do I make her chase me? That doesn't really make much sense. Okay. So there's a few different things here. And the easiest way to put this in perspective for you is the things that make you chase after a woman are the things that you need to start doing to get her to chase after you. That's the very basic explanation. Now, what does that mean in practice? In practice, that means things like making ambiguous statements that leave you wondering, what in the world does she mean, right? Because this is something that guys find very frustrating, right? Have you ever been texting a girl and then suddenly she stops responding, and then 2 days later, she just answers back, "Oh my God, I missed that. That's so funny," or something like that. Things like that. I mean, they're not by accident, right? Girls do that. And you can too, to flip the script a little bit. Now, I know delaying your messaging it's a questionable tactic in that it's not exactly black hat. It's not white hat either. It's somewhere in the middle of gray. And whether or not one has good success with that is kind of up to you and your style. However, things like being more demanding of her are going to make a big difference. Things that guys normally feel like they need to do in the beginning of a relationship process, in a courtship process, where they are thinking like, oh, I need to do this to prove myself. I need to do this to show that she should go out with me, that I'm good enough for her, or something like that. It should actually be the other way around if you want women chasing you. So you can start asking her qualifying questions, right? Maybe not something so direct as like, so how much do you make? Or something like that. But also that would be really awkward if a girl asked that to a guy, right? It would sound very materialistic and it would turn most guys off. But you can ask other qualifying questions, maybe about her habits, about her past relationships, about whatever it is that you want to know about her that would either turn her into a green flag or a red flag for you. This is one of the easiest ways to flip the script on a girl and to make her start chasing you is you need to start getting her to qualify herself to you. So you're asking her things. It's basically like a job interview that gets flipped on its head, right? If you go in to interview for a job, but you walk in and instead of trying to show them your resume and all about yourself, you start asking them questions about their company and like, well, now what do you guys do about situations like this? And how do you handle issues like this? How do you deal with things like this that I've experienced in the past? I want to know what it is that you guys are going to do to make this a good working environment for me. That is really powerful because it puts everybody off their game. It turns things on their head because what people are normally used to is this status quo, right? You go in for a job interview and we're testing you to make sure you're good enough to work at our company. You meet a girl, you match with her on Tinder, you meet her on the street, okay, and she's trying to check you. Are you good enough to hang out with me? Are you good enough to go out on a date with me? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. You need to prove yourself. No, go the other way. Okay, so we matched, but Are you good enough to hang out with me? How do you handle these things? How do you deal with, and it could be as shallow or as stupid as you want. Like, okay, now it's very important if I'm going to date a girl that she can hold her liquor. Because a couple of times I went drinking with girls who said that they were okay, and then I ended up having to ride to the hospital with them so they could get an IV drip. Like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Now, can you drink? Okay. How much? How much can you drink? Do you know your limits? What do you do if you start getting too drunk? You start qualifying her. Now that's a super shallow example, right? It could be as deep or as shallow as you want. If you're directly looking for a long-term relationship or marriage, you're not going to be asking questions like that because you're not looking for a party girl, right? You adjust the questions, you adjust the script itself to fit what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you're trying to achieve. But the basic idea behind it remains the same, which is you're turning it over on her. Are you good enough to hang with me? If you're looking for a nerdy chick and you just start dropping Star Trek references like I did earlier, and she's just, it's just way over her head, or she's like, wow, you're so profound. Where did you learn any of that stuff? And okay, then maybe you just, you just don't cut it. You just don't make the grade. That's okay. Because being willing to walk away is the basic thing. That's actually the number one thing that women have that most men, not you though, most men don't have, is they don't have the ability to walk away, because most men are so desperate for any kind of attention that they're willing to tolerate anything. And we're going to get to that bit later. But first, let's move on to the next step. Number 3, don't applaud, dig, and dig deep. Now, what does that mean? Okay, you're asking her questions. You're getting her to qualify herself. Maybe you're just having some basic small talk. You just meet a girl and you're, oh yeah, hi, I'm Jack. Nice to meet you. Cheers. Yeah. So, tell me, Lisa, what do you do? I'm a lawyer. What are most guys going to say? Most guys are going to say, oh, wow, that's really cool. It must be very busy. You must make a lot of money. You must have been very good at school. You must have gotten good grades or gone to a good university or something, right? Like, you're applauding her, right? All she said was she just told you her job. Don't applaud her for what she's saying. Instead, dig deeper. So back to this example. So Lisa, what do you do? I'm a lawyer. What made you want to study law? What made you want to become a lawyer? That's interesting, right? Okay, so now we're digging deeper. I'm not yet telling her if I think that's a good thing or a bad thing. And there are plenty of people in the world who, no matter what your job is, are going to think that it's either a good thing or a bad thing. So chances are she's probably heard both sides. Now, when you're not giving an opinion yet, but you're just digging deeper to find out a little bit more, oh, now she doesn't know how you feel about it. Now she needs to qualify herself, right? Or maybe she's going to tell you something more personal. Why did you decide to become a lawyer? Because actually, I never really wanted to. Like, it was something my parents kind of pushed me into. And, now that I'm here, like, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, well, what was your dream originally? Okay, now we're getting deeper. We're getting into some more personal stuff. And now she's going to feel like you're getting to know her really well. One of the concepts that I've talked about on here a lot is how people will backfill things in their head. They'll justify things that they're feeling or that they're noticing by doing these mental gymnastics. If she starts to feel like you're getting to know her really well and you're really understanding her or getting her or something like that, then she's going to start to feel the same way about you. Even if you haven't told her anything yet, she's going to feel like, wow, Jack really gets me. He really understands so much about me, because you're digging deep, because you're not just applauding her and staying on the surface level. And you can keep on digging pretty much as deep as you want until you find a good enough topic that you guys can riff on, and you can lead it to the next topic which then, again, you can begin digging deep and really getting to know her. This is a very easy way to improve your conversations, but also to improve how quickly you can connect with someone and build rapport with them. Because by digging deeper and by finding out more about them and who they are and what makes them tick, you're really getting down to the nuts and bolts that they want to share with you. So, don't applaud, dig deeper. And now, on your side, what you should do. Number 4, show, don't tell. This is easier said than done. And you may have heard this phrase before in terms of storytelling or writing or movie making or something like that. As a general rule for writing, no matter your medium, as a general rule, it's always a better idea to show the audience something than to just tell them through exposition. For example, if a character in a story is very self-centered and narcissistic, then you wouldn't just explain that to the audience by having another character mention that in passing. Oh yeah, I hate that guy. He's so narcissistic and self-centered. Instead, you would create a scene where you show that he has like pictures of himself all over his room, and he has, 2 different cameras up while he's just sitting there talking to himself, admiring how beautiful he is, sharing what he thinks are deep thoughts with the whole internet. Oh, fuck! See what I've done there? So that's in writing. Now, in practice, how does that actually work for you in dating? Well, if you want her to know that you are a strong leader, for example, don't tell her that. Like, don't do things like, yeah, one of my best qualities is I'm a strong leader. Instead, you would show her, right? You would take her to places whenever you want to do something together. You would do it like, you want to dance, like, hey, come here, take her by the hand, let's dance. Okay, she sees you're a strong leader. You're not telling her. If you're really into pop culture, don't tell her you're into pop culture. Show her, right? Make references to things like I was talking about earlier with the Star Trek thing. I know that's not really what most people mean by pop culture, but the point still remains, right? Like, if I tell you I'm a bit of a nerd, that's one thing. But if I open the stream with a 30-year-old Star Trek quote, that's another, isn't it? That's showing. The same goes for any other qualities or something else that you want her to know about you. You want her to know that you are a musician, okay? You could tell her, or you could invite her to a karaoke night or a norebang or something like that. Or you could have your instrument with you if you're just coming from practice. You need to have a reason. Don't carry it just to have it. Although that isn't the worst strategy. It's just also not the best. But the point is, show, don't tell. This is something that if you get this right, then they will start to notice and to see all of your good qualities. Because remember, she wants you to succeed. So if you're just showing her your different qualities, just throughout the course of a night, of a conversation, of a trip, or whatever it is, right? No matter what your situation is, over the course of that, if she's seeing all of your qualities, both positive and negative, what is she going to notice? Well, she's going to notice the positive ones that you're showing her, and she's probably going to tune out the negative ones, because most negative qualities everybody shares, everybody has in common. It's only negative if it's taken to an extreme, right? Like, everybody feels jealousy, but if you're super jealous and you just talked to a girl for 30 seconds and then you try to get in a fight with some other dude who's chatting her up 2 hours later, that's an extreme version of it, right? So with your negative traits, if you have extreme versions, try to avoid situations that are going to bring that out. Try to tamp them down as much as possible. And with your positive qualities and traits, you want to amplify them. You want to magnify your positive traits and qualities as much as you can. Show them, don't tell her, but show her, and show her about the things that you're interested in, about the things you're passionate about. Everybody's passionate about something. And if you're not, then find something that you can be passionate about. It doesn't even matter what it is. You can be passionate about coffee. You can be passionate about music. You could be passionate about Live with Jack live streams. You could be passionate about Pilsners, like that really boring dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right? Like, but it's still something. And by showing those things, she gets a better feel for who you are, and she starts to magnify in her head your positive traits, your positive characteristics, and minimize your negative ones. Because remember, she wants you to succeed. Now, with that said, let's go on to our very last point. To make her chase you, to truly be the prize, what you have to do is you have to set standards with no exceptions. What does that mean? Well, the most basic way to look at this is you need to be willing to walk away from any situation, regardless of what's going on, if she breaks your standards. This is important. This is super important because most guys cannot do this. They cannot walk away, and as a result, they think that they're being compliant, that they're being understanding, that they're being forgiving, that they're being empathetic, that they're being kind. All of these other words that basically just mean they're getting walked all over, like Nancy Sinatra. And you cannot have that. If that is the case, if you're doing those things, she's never going to chase you. She is never going to view you as the prize. There's an important thing to understand in not just in dating, but in any relationship. There is always going to be some sort of a power dynamic. There's always going to be somebody who is trying to impress the other person. There's somebody who's going to be looking for the approval of the other person. This exists no matter what in literally every situation. Okay? Now, it's not always the same people, because I can be in a conversation with somebody who doesn't know how to date women very well, and he's looking for my approval while we're talking. Like, yeah, I'm trying this. Yeah, I'm doing this thing. Yeah, I'm trying this. Let me know what you think. But then, turns out he's a much better guitar player than me. And so whenever we start talking about guitar, that dynamic shifts. And now I'm telling him, like, yeah, like I haven't been practicing as much as I should, but I'm learning how these different scales kind of fit together and how these shapes fit together. And he is now listening to me and trying to give me advice and bring me up because I'm looking to him for help, for guidance, for approval. This exists in every relationship, in every interaction, in every communication. It's not always obvious and it's not always spoken, but it always exists. Now that you understand this, you also need to understand that in a given situation, the person who cares the least is on top. Not about the topic, but about having that conversation or having that interaction. The person who cares the least is on top. So, using the example that I just gave, if I'm talking to my friend about dating, right? So he's trying to show me what he's doing. He's trying to impress me. Impress is the wrong word, but I hope you guys understand what I mean. He recognizes that I am further along in that journey than he is, right? It's not necessarily about talent or about quality of person or anything like that. It's just about where you are in that topic. So he recognizes I'm further along than him. Now, if he wants to keep talking about it, it's fine. If he wants to stop, I don't care, right? Okay, that's fine. But if I want to stop, he's, wait. Hold on. I wanted to keep going. Do you see what I mean? Or the other way around. If we're talking about guitar and he's already a master guitar player and I'm just a fledgling amateur, and he says, you know what, man, like I really don't want to talk about guitar. I feel bothered, right? I feel upset. I'm like, well, no, wait. I'd really like to ask you some questions. I'd really like to. But if I say, oh, you know what, I'm done with this topic. I don't want to do it. He's, oh, okay, that's fine. And moves on because it's not a big deal to him. This is how you can easily tell who is in control of the power in a given conversation, in a given situation. The person who cares the least. Or in other words, the person who is willing to walk away. Now, obviously there are circumstances. There are things that no matter who you are, no matter how desperate you are, there are things that would make you walk away from an interaction with a girl, right? That would be like, nope, I'm absolutely not dealing with that. And it's different for every guy, right? It's different for every situation. If you were chatting up a girl and then you walked into the bathroom and saw her blowing your best friend, that probably be across the line for 99.9% of guys. You'd be like, right, well, cutting that one off. But you need to have standards that are just as hard and fast as that, but aren't necessarily as extreme. So imagine this. You've set up a date with a girl. You're meant to meet her on, I don't know, let's say Friday night at 8 p.m. Okay? You're meeting Friday night at 8 p.m. She sends you a text at 7 and she says, hey, I'm going to be an hour late. Can you wait? Well, what's your answer? What's your answer? It's going to depend, right? How desperate are you? How much do you need this date? How much do you want this date? If you're desperate, if you really want it, if you're the one chasing her, you're going to wait, right? You're going to wait. Of course you are. You know, it's okay. And you're going to justify it. Just like I was saying earlier, man, we do all sorts of mental gymnastics to justify shit in our heads. You're going to justify it. Well, you know, it's normal. Things happen, right? Like, stuff comes up. I get it. Yeah, she said it's a work thing. It's a work thing, right? Like, I totally believe her. She has no reason to lie to me. Like, yeah, but like, she'll definitely be there. Just, you know, a little bit late. Maybe. You're justifying this stuff in your head because you're chasing her, because you're viewing her as the prize. Now, let's go back to the job interview. If you went to a job interview and you had scheduled a job interview for, I don't know, 2 p.m., and then you sent them a message or you called them at 1 o'clock and you said, hey, I'm going to be an hour late. Is that okay? What are they going to say? You're going to say, don't bother, right? They're going to say, don't bother. You know what? Like, if you can't get to the interview on time, then we don't need you, right? That's the same kind of mentality that you should have when you're the prize. When you're the one in charge, when you are the one who's being chased, she bends over backwards to accommodate you, not the other way around. That's not how this works. Now, I know some of you guys are thinking, right, but Jack, sometimes there really are just circumstances. Something comes up. Okay, I understand. I do. I really do. I understand completely. Let me illustrate this with a story from my past. So this was years ago, and I had met a girl. I was playing a show, met a girl, and we exchanged numbers, maybe some bodily fluids, and then we agreed to have a date the following, I don't know, Wednesday or something like that. And 2 hours before our date, she sent me a message and she said, hey, I'm so sorry, but I can't make it tonight. My parents have said that I need to have dinner with them. It's something important for the family. And you know how parents are in Korea. Like, I can't say no to my parents. I can't say no to my family. So can we please reschedule? Okay. Now, for most people, most guys, What they would say is, oh yeah, I totally get it, right? Family stuff, it's important. Yeah, you should definitely do that. And look, she even asked to reschedule, right? So that's good. That means she's interested. She does want to meet. Okay, fine. You're bending over backwards to accommodate her, but it's kind of reasonable, right? No, because I had set a standard that had no exceptions. And so what I told her is I said, look, I completely understand. Totally get it. Not your fault. Now, I'm not mad, but just so you know, I have a policy. I have a rule that if any girl cancels or even postpones our very first date, I just delete her number and I never talk to her again. You know, there's just too many time wasters out there. And so I had to set a rule. And I think you're great. You're really cool. But unfortunately, I never make exceptions to my rule. What do you think happened? Now, this isn't really fair, right? Because I've already primed you for what's actually going to happen. So I've already kind of hinted at where this story is going. But what happened was she said, "Hold on. I'll call you back in 5 minutes." I said, "Okay, cool. No problem." 5 minutes later, I get a phone call and she says, "All right, listen. I talked to my parents and I can't change my time to meet them, but they said you can come along for dinner if you want." Perfect. I accept. Because now she's bending over backwards to accommodate me. And not only is she bending over backwards, but her family is as well. It's a little bit of an awkward thing, a little bit of a weird thing to go on a first date and have the whole family there. It ended up being an awesome first date, which I'll have to save the rest of that story for another time. But it was a lot of fun, and I kept that rule, and it always worked for me. It always worked for me because what would happen is 9 times out of 10, the girls would say, "Oh, hold on," and then they would make some change, and then they would accommodate me because we had already planned something, and I told them this is the standard. There are no exceptions. Now, in their head, what has just happened? Why did it go from all of these girls who were very willing to cancel on me or to postpone me or something like that? Why did they all suddenly change to accommodate everything that I wanted, everything that I was telling them? Because now they knew I was willing to walk away. Because now they realized, oh shit, he must be a high value guy. He must actually be the prize. If he's, because like I'm young, I'm pretty, I'm a hot young thing. I have like 13 Instagram followers. What? But he's not interested. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to chase me. I should try to get this one because what they can't have is what they want. This is human nature, right? You want what you can't have. And if something is pulling away from you or it's making it harder to get it as you go, then you're going to keep chasing that thing, right? But if something becomes easier for you, then you're not going to chase it as much. This is just human nature, right? I mean, not just human nature, animals as well, right? But that aside, this small shift of setting a rule and of sticking to it and of saying there are no exceptions. I don't care how hot you are. I don't care how cool you are. I don't care how rich you are. Whatever. Doesn't matter. This is the rule. There are no exceptions. When you do that, it shows that you're willing to walk away. And when you're willing to walk away, it means you have other options. It means you're willing to not be with her because there's something better for you in your life than sitting there waiting for her for an hour, for a day, for a week, for whenever she feels like getting back to you. And if you let them, they're going to keep pushing it. They're going to keep pushing it. Because why wouldn't they? You're a sure thing. You're a guarantee. You're desperate as shit, man. And so, of course, they're going to keep pushing you. Of course, they're going to keep walking over you because you haven't set a standard. You haven't set your rules and said, no, this doesn't have any exceptions. I'm not doing this anymore. You haven't flipped the script. You haven't changed your internal beliefs about how men and women interact, about how you can change things in yourself. And here's the fun part, is that even if you have in the past made these same mistakes, you can change the way you act. You can change and start adding these new rules in. And in fact, it doesn't even require any explanation. You can do it with the same girls who have already walked over you before. If some girl has hung out with you in the past and she's postponed things, and then she's friend zoned you and she's pushed you out of the way and she's left you for someone else that is maybe more interesting, but you've just waited there patiently, sitting on the sidelines. If you've been the man on the side and that girl's still around, you're still in her orbit, you can actually change your situation today. Now, it's not a guarantee that it's going to work, but it is a guarantee that she's going to respect you more. And that is the only possible chance that you have of making something work. If you tell her, hey, you know, I have a new rule. You can't postpone our meetings. Now, don't tell her that out of the blue. Tell her if she tries to do it. Hey, I have a new rule. I don't accept postponed meetings. I don't accept late meetings. I don't accept late arrivals, things like that. I don't accept hanging out just as friends. I'm interested in you as a woman. And if you're cool with that, excellent. Let's go hang out. Let's have a date. And if you're not, it's okay. I mean, I have friends, right? Like, I don't need friends. I have enough of those. I need a girlfriend. But if you're not down with that, see you later. If you're willing to walk away, if you're willing to flip the script, if you're willing to take ownership of yourself and of your dating life, then what you need to do, the last step, the sixth and secret step that I haven't written down here, is to go and visit realjacknorth.com. That's right. That's me. I'm the Real Jack North. And if you go visit therealjacknorth.com, then you can sign up there and you can get access to a free course, but only for a short time. If you go there and you sign up, then you can get the coaching that you need. You can learn all of the things that you need in order to go from knowing nothing and getting walked all over every single day by every single girl, by trying to match with girls on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, getting one, maybe two matches, and then those ghost you. Going from there to having the girlfriend of your dreams in 8 weeks or less. And you can do that starting today. It doesn't even matter who you are. You can do that because it's a system. It's not a set of lines. It's not a set of things to say that are only going to work in this situation or that situation. It's a system that I help you build. And I'm going to help you become the prize that I'm teaching you today how to be. I'm going to help you become the one that has girls chasing after you, that has to actually postpone dates on girls and say, I'm sorry, something came up, because you got a number from someone younger, cuter, hotter, prettier, funnier, whatever it is, and you want to meet them instead. And if any of that sounds good to you, if you want to be the one in control, the one who has more options than you have time to deal with, the one who gets to say yes or no in real time, who gets to swipe right or left and decide, do I keep this girl around or not? Then you need to go visit realjacknorth.com and sign up there. But also, while you're here, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, because we do these streams every week, and you're going to get all this fun, free, interesting, entertaining content, and even a few Star Trek references sprinkled in for fun every week. So if you want to know when these go live, if you want to know when our other videos go up, then you need to hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell, and you'll get the little ding ding every time that your life is about to get better. So with that said, we're going to move over to the Q&A section of our chat, which means we have to say goodbye to you Instagram folks. So until next time, Papa Jack out. And now for you YouTubers, for you fellas on YouTube, let's get into the Q&A. So today is a very busy day. Oh my. We have the kid coming in from New York. No, sorry, from California. That's like New York, but not as good. That's not true. Both New York and California are absolute cesspools. I wouldn't live in either. In any case, the kid, how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Sadly, the rest of our player panel was all booked up today, so it's just going to be me and you for the day.
Oh, that's unfortunate, but hey, it's okay.
Hmm. It is. Oh, and,
um,
and guys in the audience as well. If y'all have questions, you can type them into the chat, and then I'll answer them for you live.
yeah. So, one of the first questions I had went off kind of the last point you made, which is
Yeah,
kind of set some standards. Kind of have some ground rules, right? And you
sure.
went over one of your ground rules, which was, like if they cancel on the first date, you
Yeah,
delete their number, never see
yeah.
them, right? So I was curious. I was going to be curious what the rest of the panel had kind of if they had some rules, but going off that, do you have any other rules? And then do you know if any other guys kind of you've noticed they have certain rules that works really good for them?
So there are definitely other things, and this is going to be up to every single guy because they all deal with things differently and they have a different style. And for me, one of the rules that I've set that's worked for me well was if I ever get even just the hint or an inkling of friend zone vibes, I stop immediately. Literally, no matter what we're doing, I stop and I point out, hey, we're not friends. Okay. I'm interested in you as a man and a woman. So if that's cool, then excellent. Now, if I haven't made that clear, that's on me. But I don't want you sticking around here thinking that we're just going to be like buddy buddy and I'm going to be your emotional tampon or some bullshit, right? Like we're either in this on a date or there's the door, right? And maybe not in quite so harsh terms. I don't think that I've ever told a girl I wasn't going to be her emotional tampon. With at least not in that context of like, did I just get a whiff of friend zone? No, but I always stop the conversation and I clarify so that there's no misunderstanding whatsoever. I am not interested in just being friends. Okay. I am only interested in this as a we get to know each other better and maybe it turns into something romantic. That's it. I'm not interested in anything else. And this is really important. And a lot of guys have a hard time with that because they feel like, well, if I do that and if she says no, then I've definitely lost her, right? But if I don't say that, then maybe later on she'll develop feelings for me. Doesn't exist. It does not happen. That's some Hollywood made up bullshit. That does not happen. When you first meet a girl, she decides this is a dude I would fuck or this is not a dude I would ever fuck. That's it. Right? And now, if you're in the dude I would fuck category, it doesn't mean that she's going to fuck you or that she's like horny and wants to bang right now, but it means you are in the bucket of, okay, we can see where this goes. We'll see what happens. But if you're not in that bucket at all, you're not in the bucket, man. Right? Like, so don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your mental energy on texting these girls, on trying to figure out the number of guys that I've seen who come to me and they're like, Jack, can you help me craft the right message for this girl so that she'll be interested in me? And I'm like, bro, that's not how this works. She's either interested in you or she's not. And if she's not, then that's okay, right? Like, can't take it personally, but don't waste your time with it either. There's nothing you can say. There's no message you can say to her that's going to turn her from uninterested into interested. Now, your best chance, if you really are determined to go down this path of there's a girl who's friend zoned me, but I still want to try and hook up with her. I still want to try and get with her in some way. Your best chance at that is to tell her, I'm not interested in being friends. That's just not a thing I'm looking for right now. So, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and cut this off now. And then if you run into her again 6 months or a year later, now she has respect for you because you told her straight up what it was. And now, if you've been working on yourself, if you've been improving your game, your conversation skills, your humor, things like that, then now she might actually reassess you. because after enough time, you disappear out of either bucket, right? It's the same way as like if a girl's really into you, but then she doesn't see you for a year, then you're not in either bucket yet because she has to determine once again, would I or wouldn't I? So setting rules like that about if you even get a hint of friend zoning, cut that shit off. Um, if there's something that's important to you, right? Now I've heard some guys talk about like, oh, I always demand that a girl wears a skirt on our first date or whatever. Like, okay, if it's important to you, you can set whatever rules you want, man. Right? Like this is it's your life. The whole point of these live streams, of these lessons, of the courses, all this stuff. The whole point is to put you in control of your dating life, not me, right? And so it doesn't matter what rules you set or what rules you choose, as long as they're important to you and you're willing to stick to it no matter what. There are no exceptions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Okay.
like I said, it's totally different for every guy, right? Like maybe more traditional minded guys would say like, hey, by the way, just so you know, uh, now that we've had our first date, even if we're not boyfriend and girlfriend yet, I have an expectation of pure exclusivity while we're meeting and getting to know each other. So I don't want you dating other people. I don't want you hooking up with other people, even if we're not boyfriend and girlfriend yet. I want us to get to know each other and only that. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, if that's not something you're cool with, then that's okay. We can stop wasting our time now. Right? Like that's a rule that most people don't think to set, but they actually kind of want, right? Say it. Say it. She's not going to know what your expectations are if you don't make them clear. And not just hint at them. Make them abundantly clear, explicitly clear. This is what I want you to do, or this is what I need you to do, and or not do. And if you can't do that, or if you're not okay with that, this is the result, right? And it doesn't always have to be walking away. The result could be something like if you're not willing to be exclusive while we're just dating, then this will never be more than a hookup every now and then, right? We can be fuck buddies, but I can never view you as anything more than that if you can't be exclusive now, right? Like it's up to you to come up with what's important to me, and then remember, it's not a punishment, right? The point of this is not it's not punishment or retribution or anything like that. The point of this is setting clear expectations for if you want this result, this is what you need to do. If you do not do that thing, this other thing is the result, not the punishment, right? Like if you eat ice cream for every meal for 3 weeks straight, you will gain weight. It is not a punishment, it is just the result, right? Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. Cool. So then, my next question and sorry if you already covered this. I did miss like the first 20 minutes. I was coming back from the gym.
It's okay.
When it comes to kind of making them chase you, right? There's an interesting dynamic. Let's say if you met them off an app, right, where it's like they have all the attention, you probably message them first, maybe, and it's like you're kind of starting from that deficit, right? How can you overcome that and flip that dynamic?
The easiest way to do that, if you're working through an app, a dating app, something like that, or any kind of messaging service, something like that, is there's like level one, which is, hey, what's up? Hi. right? And level 1 fails every time. And then there's level 2, which is like make some clever comment about her bio or her picture or something like that. And then there's level 3, which is come up with something exceptionally funny or witty or attention grabbing or strange or weird. Like open up with a pun about her name, with a funny joke, with a something like that. That's level 3, and that works pretty well. And then there's level 4, and level 4 is where you make some remarkably ambiguous or incomplete statement or question or something like that, where you create a situation that leads a whole conversation because it demands her to answer. If she sees it and reads it, she won't be able to help but answer. Now, how you craft that, that deserves its own lesson. And in fact, do you know what? The kid, that's some really fucking valuable information. Let's talk about that later, and we might just make a little mini course about how to craft the best opening messages, like that level 4 stuff. But it would be something like, so just off the top of my head, something like, hey, do you like it when, and then just like that's it, that's the message. Because she's gonna wait, what? Do I like it when what? Right? Because it's, if you read that thing, it feels like a mistake, right? And people like to fill in things in their heads, and they're like, do you like it when but what's next, right? What's the part? Because now I'm already a little bit invested in, is it me? Do I like it when what thing happens? When I do this thing, when you do this thing, when oh, is it one of those things? Is it one of those? Your mind starts going crazy, and then you have to know, what's the answer? What's the answer? What's happening? So something like that demands a response from her is going to instantly put her in the position of chasing you, because you've given her nothing, right? You're not, hey, gorgeous, I like that picture of you hanging out with your friends in Bali. Man, I love Bali. I went there surfing back in 2021. It was awesome. Like, okay, cool, man. You, but why would I respond to that, right? That doesn't draw me in. It's fine. It's level 2. It's better than, hey, what's up, right? But it doesn't grab me and make me have to know. And that's the only way to flip the power dynamic in those situations. Here's one of the things that most guys don't understand. Most guys think that the only power dynamic in dating apps is looks. And like, that's partially true, especially at the beginning, right? On the swipe right, swipe left. Yeah, the opening power dynamic is mostly on looks, but once she's already swiped right, then now it's entirely on you and what you say and what you do and how you act, because you've already passed her bare minimum threshold for looks. Now, her threshold might be, if I were drunk, I'd do it. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. You're good enough. You got in the door. Now it's up to you to actually make this work. So once you get past the initial swipe, then the looks don't matter nearly as much. They diminish in importance tremendously. And by learning how to craft the right messages, by learning how to get her interested and then turn that interest into something more, into attraction, you can then take her off the app, because that's obviously what you want to do, and then get her in person. So yeah, change the power dynamic, be different from everybody else, right? 80% of guys do level 1, and then another 15% of guys do level 2, right? Which is the comment on the on the picture or the bio. And then about 4.9% get to level 3, which is, funny quips or jokes or puns. And then there's that 0.1% that figures out how to just grab you and force you to respond. And that's where you want to be. If you want her and all of the hers out there chasing you.
Cool.
Does that make any sense at all? Or are
Yeah.
you just like, Jack, you fucking you talk, and then I hear words, but like I don't understand what you mean.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, that
I
makes
think
a lot of
we
sense.
have time to do one more question before we wrap up.
Yeah, maybe kind of the wrap up, right? I know you, and I know kind of how this story goes, but the audience doesn't. Of when you were talking about the time you made that one girl hang out with all the parents and stuff. Maybe we could finish that story up to kind of end the live stream.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I like the idea, so let's do this. We're going to go ahead and wrap the show here, and then I'm going to record a private video where I finish the rest of the story, and then I'll just put it into the Discord community. So, if you guys aren't yet in the Discord community and you want to hear the rest of this story, it's totally free, 100% free, at least for right now. But for right now, all you have to do is just go to the Discord community. You can find it if you go to thesoulplayer.com, there's a button at the top that says community, and then there's the link straight into the Discord there. I forgot to put it into the YouTube description today, so sorry for you on that one. But go over there, and I will do a live private video there for the community members to finish up the rest of the story, because it does get a little bit weird and a little bit spicy. And I don't really want to put that one out onto YouTube, at least not publicly. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. And thank you, the kid, for joining in with me. And for you guys watching, thanks for joining in. I hope that you've had fun. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I hope that you're in the Discord community so that you can see the rest of that story and how things wound up. With all that said, I will catch you guys next week. Until then, Papa Jack out.